Tonight, for tractor time with Mr. Mick, I have a toy D John Deere out here, and this D John Deere looks just like Donald the Model D from all the Johnny Tractor books, so that's why I brought this one out. This one says Special Edition John Deere 1990, made by the Ertl Toy Company. And I also have another Johnny Tractor book tonight, Johnny Tractor and Friends, A New Kind of Job. This book was borrowed to me by a friend of mine, and her son borrowed it to me because he wanted me to read it. So thank you, Ethan Englund, for borrowing me this book. Johnny Tractor and Friends, A New Kind of Job. The days grew shorter and the nights grew colder as autumn turned into winter at the construction site. Finally, one day the ground had become just too frozen to dig anymore. That night, all the construction equipment gathered inside the machine shed. Danny Dozer, Grady the Grader, Luke Loader, Scotty Skid Steer, Barney Backhoe, Eddie Excavator, Tommy Truck, they had all worked so hard all year that they were ready to take a well-deserved rest. "I can't wait until it snows," said Luke. "Yes," said Danny, "we can build some really neat snowmen." Grady added, "Then we can go sledding," Scotty said. "This winter will be a lot of fun," and they all agreed. So here they are, getting ready for winter, all the construction equipment. They didn't have to wait long, because that very next morning it began to snow. Throughout the day they worked hard together to build a snow fort. Danny, Grady, and Barney pushed the snow into big balls, and Luke, Scotty, and Eddie lifted the balls into place. Tommy dumped the loose snow to fill in the gaps, and by late morning they had built a fort that anyone could be proud of. And there's their snow fort. As they returned to the shed for the night, Barney said, "You know, guys, I just noticed it's still snowing." "Yeah," said Tommy, "and it's snowing harder than it was before." The last to enter the shed, Danny joked, "Maybe we can build another fort tomorrow that's even larger." That night it kept on snowing, and snowing, and snowing. And you can see the machine shed was getting covered deeper and deeper with snow. By the time it stopped in the morning, there was almost 2 more feet of snow outside. "Well, I like snow," said Luke, "but I think this is too much." "I know it's too much," said Eddie. "I just heard on the radio that a 50-mile stretch of Highway 20 is snowed in and several vehicles are stranded at the truck stop there." "Those poor guys," said Barney. "Yeah, maybe winter isn't so much fun after all," said Scotty. "You know, that's not too far from here," said Luke. "Maybe we can clear the road and help them get home." All the others except Grady looked surprised. "Why, we don't do that kind of work," said Danny. "He's right," said Tommy. "They use truck with big plow blades on the front for that kind of work." "I know," said Luke, "but just look at the fort we built yesterday. We can move the snow." Then Grady spoke up. "That's right, guys. I know we can do it. I know because I have a cousin who lives way up north in Canada, and he plows snowy roads all winter long." They all agreed, and they set out right then to open up the highway. Grady led the way through, though several times Luke, Scotty, and Barney and the others had to come up front to move the large drifts that the wind had blown over the roadway. But by midday, the gang had finally reached the truck stop. There they are, clearing the road. All of the stranded vehicles began to cheer as the snow was cleared from around them. Especially happy was Pat, the parts truck, who had important deliveries to make. "See," said Luke, "we can do anything if we believe in ourselves." The end.